they train in the stadium as well?
Yes, they're setting up tonight. The kit men are coming.
Okay.
Afternoon. If you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand, just so we can get a mic for the simultaneous translation. Vinny, do you want to go first?
Arne, good afternoon. First of all, just wanted to check on Alexander-Isak. What chance of him figuring and getting some game time, at least in this game against Atletico Madrid?
There's definitely a chance because he's in the squad. So then there's a chance to play, but I would normally always say 99.9% sure, but I can say it's 100% sure that he will not play 90 minutes. But he's part of the squad, so it's already a Champions League game to look forward to. But if people look forward to his playing time, that could mean that could happen tomorrow as well.
Even a chance to start then?
The only thing what is sure is that he would not play 90, and all the rest you will see tomorrow.
Obviously, we look at Florian Wirtz and the switch that he's made coming to Liverpool, and I think there's probably an argument to say that we've not seen the best of him just yet. I think there were flashes in the second half, at least, against Burnley once again. What do you put that down to, though, the fact that we've not seen the best of Florian just yet, and what kind of adjustment is he having to make?
I put that down to Bournemouth, I put that down to Newcastle, I put that down to Arsenal, I put that down to a team we faced this weekend that only conceded 14 goals last season. If it's correct, I don't know, but someone told me today it's the first time in 18 months that Burnley lost a home game. So if I'm wrong, that's because of that person. But it tells you how hard it is to play these games. And which is normal, because there's so much focus on our new signings, because especially the pundits that favor not us but some other clubs in the country that cannot stop talking about 450 million. I repeat 450 million, I repeat 450 million, but they always forget the 300 million that we've sold for. And these players that we've brought in are indeed a lot of money, but they are playing now together with players that are worth same amounts of money. So yes, if we want to strengthen the squad, we need almost to spend that much money, because then they are, if we sell Dominic Szoboszlai tomorrow, he would be worth 100 million as well. So there's so much focus on Florian, but the ones that have stayed behind, still in the team, haven't scored 4 goals or 12 assists as well. So he's been part of a team, Florian, that is on top of the league, that won 4 games. He's part of the team that won against Newcastle, that won against Arsenal, where the team of last season didn't win away at Newcastle, didn't win at home against Arsenal. So it's the way you want to look at it. Yes, he hasn't scored 4 goals or 12 assists in the first 4 games, but for me that's down to the quality we've faced, and he's part of a team that's number 1 in the league at the moment.
And you have said the best is still to come from the group as a whole. So how well equipped do you feel you are to compete on all 4 fronts once again, even go further than what you were able to do last season?
Yeah, I think we are far above my expectations during the summer. So we all know what happened this summer. We all knew when the program or the schedule came out that we had to face Newcastle away, Arsenal at home and Bournemouth at home. And it turned out to be Burnley a difficult one as well, but that is maybe not what I expected it, but not in the fashion as it happened on Sunday. So for us to be on 12 points now is so much more than I expected, especially after we've had so many changes in the group as well, in our squad, sorry. And yeah, I think we can do better, but we're not every time going to face Newcastle away and Arsenal at home.
How does this test compare to what you faced already? Atletico.
Sorry?
How does this test against Atletico then compare to what you faced already in the Premier League?
When I was at Feyenoord in the Eredivisie, you knew when you went from a Sunday to a Wednesday, you had to make 2 steps up, unless you played Ajax or PSV in the weekend. But if you play Premier League, it is either the same quality you face or a little step up. So yes, it's again a very difficult one, because Atletico Madrid has done so well in La Liga over so many years with Diego Simeone. They were even able to win the league twice when you face Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they've been twice in the final of the Champions League. So this again is a team that is a difficult one to play against, because of the mentality, because of their team performance, because of their individual quality. the last time I faced them, I still wake up sometimes, that's not true, but at night thinking about Griezmann, how good he was in that game. I think we lost 3-1. I'm not exactly sure, but he was outstanding that game. So the good thing now is that in my team I have players that can do similar things than Griezmann can do. And although I loved my players at Feyenoord a lot as well, but at that moment of time, in their moment of their career, they were not able to compete with Griezmann on that night.
Thanks, Arne.
Alice?
Hi, Arne. You talk about the new players coming in, but you have won those 4 games in the Premier League. What does that say about the squad? And also, the mentality, that strong mentality has stayed there, hasn't it? Because you've won those games late on.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's very focused on us winning the game late on. But that, again, has a lot to do with the teams we faced as well. So, of course, it has a bit to do with how fit we are, that we can always keep on going and make the difference in the last part of the game. But if you face maybe teams that are not as strong as that, you are able to win the game a bit earlier. So it probably also tells you how difficult our schedule has been in the first few games for us to be, that we need to win it in the end. Then people will tell me, yeah, what are you talking about? You've played Burnley as well. But again, this team only conceded 14 goals last season in the whole season. So yeah, very happy with where we are, especially because I don't know if everyone knows what I mean with that, but I think everyone does. What a summer we've been through. And I'm not talking about selling players or bringing players in. I think we all know where I'm talking about. And then to be here with 12 points after such a difficult start in terms of the teams we faced is more than expected. But still, we know as well, and we want to do better. But I also wanted to do better than last season. So if we would have kept that team together, we needed to do better as well. And that's why we are every day on a training pitch to try, and in meetings to try and make the team better.
You talk about the new players, but one of the older players, Andy Robertson, came off the bench on Sunday, played brilliantly well against Burnley. How much can he help, like a Milos Kerkez, for example?
Brilliantly well. I think he played well. That we agree. If he would have played brilliantly well, he would have hit his left foot outside shot into the top corner. No, he had a very good impact. Milos started the game not brilliantly well, but he started the game well. But we had to take him off, and then it's such a nice thing that you have Andy Robertson to replace him, and he just came in the team as if he'd never been doing anything else and started to play with his teammates. But it was a difficult game for us, so I don't think anyone played brilliantly well. But he definitely played well, and so it's good to have him in the squad. That's for sure.
Carl?
Hi, Anne. I just wondered what you learned from last season's Champions League, particularly in terms of the format. You finished top of the group and then didn't get a particularly favourable draw,
Well,
and whether that will influence how you approach this Champions League.
I got that question just a second ago as well. I think it's not a smart thing to do is judge something on one event, because if I judge it on one event, I would say it's of no interest if you end up number 1 or number 7 or number 8, because we had a very difficult draw, and the number 11 Real Madrid had to play the number 22, which was Man City. So what I like about this draw is tonight I go home. I go a little bit earlier home after this press conference, but tonight I'm in front of the television and I'm looking at which game is going to come up, because it's always going to be a nice game, because there can be a pot 1 team that plays a pot 1 team. In the past it was always pot 1 to pot 2, pot 3, pot 4. So that is the nice part of it. What I don't like about this format is that if you have NBA everywhere where you have a league table and then you play playoffs, you have a league table after everyone playing the same teams. So if you then end up number 1, then probably the number 8 is weaker than the number 5. But now there are teams that come from pot 4 that have an easier draw than teams that are in pot 1. So this whole league table doesn't give the real opinion about who's good and who isn't. So then it can happen like last season that the number 11 Real Madrid can play the number 22 Man City. And it's not like Man City did something so bad. No, they had to face a difficult draw. And it's the same like Paris Saint-Germain. If you look at the draw of Paris Saint-Germain this season, it's the same as last season. So if you ask me this question immediately after we lost Paris Saint-Germain, I would have told you, forget about the first 8 games. But now I use my brains a bit more, and I tell you, don't judge a new format on the first time. Judge it after 3 or 4 times, and then see. Maybe the upcoming 3 times, the number 1 of the league table will have a favourable draw. But that was definitely not the situation last season.
Carlos, pass support behind you.
Arne, when you think back to the second PSG game and how close it was, does the fact that they went on to win the tournament give you a boost in a way, or does it frustrate you?
A bit of both, maybe. Because we were so close. I think it wasn't that I said it, but I think Luis Enrique said before, when he said here, he said the team that's going to win this playoff is going to win the tournament. And he was right. Not to say that it would have happened with us as well, but in the end he was right. So it tells you that we were a team, we were the only team that could bring them to extra time and the only team that could bring them to penalties. So it was a frustration to lose it with penalties. It also, if you are out, at least that's what I have. If I'm out, I prefer to go out against the team that wins it in the end, because that tells you if you can bring them so far. Yeah, it's a bit too simple to say, yeah, then we weren't that far off of winning it as well. But we felt that was the best team in Europe last season. I think everybody agrees to that, because they won the French League, they won the Cup, they went to the Club World Cup, were very close to winning that as well. So it's fair to say they were the best team in Europe last season. That we were so close of beating them gives us also the confidence that we are able to compete in this league as well. But even if we would have lost them 2 times with 4-0, I would still tell you now that Liverpool will always be able to compete in the Champions League.
At the front.
Hi Arne, Artur Kovács, RTL Hungary. We can say that Dominik Szoboszlai can play brilliantly well as a right defender, but now Jeremy Frimpong is fit again. Can he return to the midfield, maybe?
And Conor Bradley is fit again as well. But we also have 4 very good midfielders fit as well. Endo, McAllister, Dominic, Florian. Do I forget one? Curtis is not fit, Curtis Jones. So yeah, in every position we have a lot of competition. He can play in both positions. And let's see if he plays tomorrow, where he's going to play.
Thank you very much.
Just behind.
Hi Arne, Gabriel from Swedish SVT. What do you think will be the biggest challenges here for Alexander Isak in the first time in the club that he must focus on?
Getting fit. Getting fit after missing out 4 months and of proper team sessions. He doesn't have to prove to anyone that he's good enough to play in the Premier League, because that's what he's proven already at Newcastle. So the main challenge he has is to become so fit that he's first of all ready to do what he did last season. And then speaking about Paris Saint-Germain, I don't think anyone is surprised that I was mainly impressed by the way they press. So it's double press. And that is what was Dembele was one of the examples that was so outstanding in his pressing game. So everybody is focused on Paris Saint-Germain about all the goals they score, but I was mainly impressed by the way they pressed. And so the moment he's fit and match fit and he can play 90, and then the next step is playing 3 times in a week, 90 minutes, and then the next step is going 1 step further in terms of pressing. And that's what he has to do, and then scoring goals and doing special things in attack, that is something he will 100% sure do.
Jan, here.
Hello, here in Spanish.
Spanish, yes.
Please.
Yeah.
Hablabas antes del mercado de fichajes en España. Se ha hablado mucho del dinero invertido por el Liverpool. ¿A ti te molesta que se hable tanto del dinero que se ha gastado el Liverpool? Y si estás de acuerdo en que por ello vosotros seáis considerados los favoritos a ganar la Champions.
He's been listening to a lot of talk sports because he was saying that we spent so much money. and it didn't came to him probably that we've sold for 300 million. I repeat, for 300 million as well. I think it's only a compliment. I think it's only a compliment that people tell everyone that we've spent so much, because that tells you that the players we've brought in are seen as very good players. So I'm for a part responsible of bringing the players in as well, together with some other people. And I think we should see this as a compliment, that everybody is like, wow, they did great business. And I think we did. We brought in great players. And to add to that, we've already lowered the age of the players. So some other teams prefer to bring in 27-year-olds because they're already, bam, ready. But we think we've brought in players from 21, 22 that are ready, but also 21, 22. So, and then if they are 4 or 5 years with you, you can still sell Luis Diaz for 80 million. But if he would have been 28, I think it's harder to sell him for 80 million if he's 32. So that's our model, and I think that model should get a lot of praise, because I've said it here in England once or twice, and I can say it one more time to you as well. I think all the money we've spent, we generated ourselves by selling and winning the league after we didn't buy anyone at all. I don't know if you know, but if you win the league, that's quite good financially as well. So those two situations led to the fact that we could spend 450 million. It wasn't as if we looked in the ground and saw, oh, there's money coming up, let's spend 450. No, we've generated ourselves, and that is, I think, a big compliment for the model we have and for the quality players we've brought in, that everybody is only talking about the 450 we've spent.
Mo?
And we are always, that's not a surprise to you, if you're Liverpool, you're always, if you're an English club playing in the Champions League, you belong to one of the favourites.
Hi Arne, you mentioned earlier Curtis Jones is still out for this game. Could you tell us a little bit more about the nature of his injury, how long you expect him to be out for, and whether or not this affects your use of Alexis McAllister, who himself is still finding his way back to full fitness?
Yeah, I can talk to you for a long time, but I already talked for a long time, so he will train with the team tomorrow. So hopefully he's able to be in the squad on Saturday, but not for tomorrow yet.
Lewis?
You mentioned earlier about Robbo coming in and doing well. Can I just ask on Milos, how has he taken being substituted so early? Have you spoke to him about that, and is he, fine, ready to rise to the challenge again?
Yeah. Although you never know when they're sitting in front of me, or when I have my team meetings, they don't stand up and say I disagree with you. But maybe when he's at home and he's talking to his father or his girlfriend or his friends, he's like, what a stupid decision this was. But when I'm around, he comes across as if he understood it. And I've shown yesterday that, because that wasn't maybe clear for every player, you could see after he made the foul, which you could argue if it was a foul or not, but the referee blew his whistle. I've highlighted that 6 of their players went over to the referee, and the referee made twice a signal like this. No, this is not a yellow card for me. This is not a yellow card for me. And for me, it was like, You could even argue if this was a foul or not, and it's already necessary to tell everyone in the stadium that it was definitely not a yellow. What will happen if he makes a normal foul, which is normally not reason for a yellow? So for me, that combination, if their players wouldn't have gone to the referee, if he wouldn't have made this thing, I would have at least kept him on till half-time. But I felt also the atmosphere in the stadium, smart from their fans, by the way. They were on every decision, they were on top of the referee. I felt if he only touches him once, he's under a lot of pressure not to give him as yellow. And that's what I tried to explain. And again, he said he understood, but yeah, I don't know what he says to his fans about it, but to me, he says he understood.
Hold on. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.